So it's currently like 6:30 a.m. I've wanted to make this video since yesterday, but I've been procrastinating ever since. And since I wanted to talk about this for hours, I want to do it before I head to bed. So, but the topic on hand is, ironically enough, not offended, but something I've been bothered by the past few months. And I was more inspired to talk about this from because of a YouTuber, someone that goes by the name of Michael Buckley, or as you may or may not know him as What the Buck on YouTube. You know, talks about celebrities, blah blah blah. But anyways, he uploaded a video, and in short, essentially talking about how you can't really say anything, you can't make a joke, you can't refer to someone, you know, their race, you can't refer, like, he talked about this one Asian chick he was with was a terrible driver, and everyone's giving him shit for it, saying, oh, you should know better, you should... and he basically explains, oh, he doesn't, you know, he offends everybody. And I have the same mindset when it comes to my sense of humor, when it comes to just my mindset. As long as you're not being serious, and I know when someone's usually being serious or not, comedy has no limits. I don't give a shit what you say. I make fun of white. I stereotype whites, I stereotype Asians, I do all these things. I'm a very vile person sometimes when it comes to humor, and that's the way I like it. Comedy shouldn't have boundaries. But I'm not really here to talk about comedy in general. I'm here to just talk about offendedness in general, and how people over the past few months, from what I've seen, it's kind of exploded. The past, you know, few years, we've had it in doses, with people like Anita Sarkeesian getting annoyed over this littlest fucking things in video games and whatnot. It's like, oh, if this happens to a male, oh, whatever, ignore. But if it happens to a woman, oh, then it's a crisis. But it's recently exploded with things such as gay marriage now legalized, the Confederate flag, the gay pride flag, among other things. Everything in the gaming business, racial issues, everything offends everybody now, and it fucking sucks, because you have freedom of speech, but it almost seems like no matter what you say now, someone out there is going to get on your case for it. Somebody. And I can't force people not to feel and think what they want to think. They're going to react how they're going to react. But I'm really... Okay, for example, how crazy things are getting. We've gotten to a point to where Super Mario Maker, there's an ad for it that features a Caucasian, white, and from what I believe, a female hand, a white female hand. And we've gotten to the point to where people are complaining about it being a white hand, not black, not, you know, not African American, not whatever, Asian, all this shit. I'm too tired to think right now, my God. And there, people even bitching about it being slender and not fitting to their hand. It doesn't look like their hand. People are offended that an ad has a white hand, something that doesn't look like theirs. Boo fucking who. I mean, sure, Nintendo could have avoided all of this by putting like Master Hand or something like a glove or Master Hand as it, because Master Hand, you know, Nintendo themed, whatever. But they shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't have to do that, and I believe they do have other options for, you know, skin tones and whatnot for the hand, which again is ridiculous that they even have to consider pandering to this bullshit. Like nowadays when it comes to movies and games, I see some stuff that's so forced and to appease the SJWs and all this shit. It's ridiculous, and I'm not strictly talking about some forced female leads I've seen in games as of late. That's fine. That's fine. But sometimes I can't help but feel some of it is forced, only to appease these harassers, and that's what I'm going to call them, because, well, I had a reason, but now I forget. Shut up. Point is, we shouldn't have to deal with this, but I really don't want to throw any stones. I don't want to piss anybody off, even though I'm gonna, because everyone's so offensive all of a sudden, no matter what you say. But I just want to spread the message of, can anybody have fun anymore? Can we not just sit back and have fun, just calm down and not overanalyze everything? Can we just sit back, take a breath, and just appreciate? That's all I'm saying. We don't need to have some stick up our asses. We don't need to. Like I said, I can't change how a person feels, but I just want, if you are one of these people I'm referring to, I just want you to take a listen, just listen to yourself and try and logically come to a conclusion that is how you can go, like, come to a conclusion of how you can best handle certain situations. Like, just because there's a male lead in a video game or a movie, it does not make it sexist. It just means it's probably more appropriate for the role or the story or whatever. That's how stories should be told. They shouldn't be culturally in touch with our world. That's the thing about fiction. Books, games, movies, they don't have to be it's like Game of Thrones or whatever. It's like, you know, when people say, oh, I'm not going to talk about here, spoilers, shit. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Something how that happens here in season 5 or whatever. They're saying, oh, they condone that type of behavior. No. It's a dark and gritty world, and shit like that is going to happen. We don't have to act like everything, you know. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Not everything, just in short, not everything has to be culturally acceptable. The medieval time, things were like that in the medieval times. We don't have to modernize everything. It's like modernizing Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings, of sorts. Like, oh, make the hobbits taller because, oh, you're discriminating them because they're shorter, some shit like that. Just get your politics out of my fiction. All I gotta say, really. Like, and also when it comes to games like Hatred, a mediocre game at best, or whatever, but some say it's too violent. Same thing with GTA. But here, I'm not gonna get into that. The whole murder. One thing I never got when it came to GTA is why people find murder to be acceptable in video games such as GTA, but rape is not. And of course I don't condone any of that in real life, but as studies have shown, violent video games won't lead to violent behavior, but that's a video for another day. I'm really rambling on far too much. I've strayed far from the subject which I was originally talking about, but back to the point. We just need to calm down, sit back, and breathe. We shouldn't be so offended about everything. Confederate flag, I couldn't give a shit. Gay marriage, great. I get it if you don't like it, I suppose, because of your beliefs, but there's no need to, go crazy about it. Because it is hypocritical for you to say, oh, they're impeaching and stepping on your religious rights. But with your religious rights, you're denying them the civil right to marry. So it doesn't really mesh that well. To grant you your right, would you deny the rights of another? Separation of church and state. That's all I ask for, really. That's all I ask for. And besides, bakers refusing to bake a gay couple a cake. Maybe you should be fired. I mean, it is your job. It is your job. And if you don't like that, well, get over it. I don't know. I'm straying from the subject. Always happens whenever I'm tired, but like I said, let's just calm down. And have a good day. Have a good night. I'll talk to you guys whenever. And I'll see you on the flip side.